Welcome to our daily reflection for this Monday, August 5th. And today we have this great image of a yoke, which was used by oxen oftentimes to help harness the oxen to carry and drag and push forward a plow. And so it was a very important technology for agriculture. And Jeremiah the prophet comes warning Jerusalem that they're going to be under Babylonian rule for some time. And so he carries, as a metaphor, as an image for this, an oxen yoke on his shoulders, as if he was a dumb beast of burden. And he goes around carrying it. And so that would be quite a word picture, right? That's quite an image and a conversation starter, as Jeremiah's walking around Jerusalem with this yoke. And then the false prophet comes and takes it off and breaks it and says, "Thus will the Lord break the yoke of Babylon within 2 years. We won't be under Babylonian subjugation and rule." And he is a false prophet, and he's giving it false optimism. And Jeremiah then prophesies that, because he's lying, that false prophet will die within the year, and 7 months later he does die. And of course, Jeremiah says, through the Lord, that because you're going to rebel against Babylon, you're not just going to have a wooden yoke, you're going to have an iron yoke. You're really going to be in for a long haul, and it'll be a harder burden for you. And of course, the yoke of Babylonian captivity and rule is a penance for the people of God because of their sinfulness. And so God allows that yoke, and that yoke signifies you're subjected to this other nation. And you have to pay taxes and tribute and obey their laws. And so it's a burden. And of course, Jesus will talk about, "My yoke is easy, my burden light." And of course, that's about being subjected to his kingship. So he is a king, bringing a kingdom. And so the yoke imagery is about kingship. It's about kingdoms. And yet Jesus says, paradoxically, his yoke and his burden is light. And so that's an image to think about in light of this discipline that Jeremiah the prophet foretells. The law of the Lord that we see in Psalm 119, the psalm for today, is about what's God's law and that it's good. And so that's the good yoke. Babylon's the bad yoke. But sometimes God gives his people, economic, political oppression as a penance for their sins. And so that's something to reflect on. And of course, the gospel reading today follows from what we saw yesterday. It's a recounting of Jesus multiplying the 5 loaves to feed the multitude, and that God's yoke is easy, his burden light, and that in his kingdom he provides and gives to us. And that is a different kind of kingdom altogether, and a different kind of king who doesn't seek to oppress and take, but to give. So let's reflect on Jesus' kingship versus the kingship of this world. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.